I've now replaced the fuel pickup stroke filter, ensuring that it's clean and making sure that everything is as it should be, which it is in this particular instance. I find it easiest to remove the side where the side of the handle moulding, which is removed by taking 2 screws out, and then you will note that this next piece comes out very easily. I need 2 hands, but it's quite straightforward, so you'll be able to do it, I'm sure. I have removed the 2 securing nuts which go onto them studs down there, making sure to recover them because there is a possibility of them dropping into the intake. I now remove the air box, below which you will see the carburettor. The choke is now, have to close the choke and remove the choke rod, which again I need 2 hands for, so I will stop for a minute. That choke rod is now removed, and I can now remove the throttle rod, which is straightforward, and the carburettor, the control and switch assembly just behind, lever upwards, that will come out, giving access to everything there. We need to disconnect the fuel line, which is straightforward, and remove the carburettor. There is a small plastic ring which goes into the rubber manifold that helps to stop the manifold deforming. I always take it out just to make sure that it doesn't get lost and we can return it to its position when we rebuild. I have removed the carburettor from the machine, and as you can see, blown the dust off with the airline just to ensure that it's all clean, so that nothing too serious drops into the carburettor. We'll give it a better clean when we've got it apart. You can see there where the fuel tube is, there's no fuel in the tank, so it's not leaking. I do recommend emptying the tank. If you don't want to empty the tank, you can always clamp off the fuel line. I've got a special little fishing type thing for doing that. I don't need to do it in this instance because it's already empty. This carburettor, as with all chainsaw carburettors, this side here is the pump side. So that is actually a fuel pump which is driven by a pulse, air pulse from the engine. The other side, which is this side, is called the metering side, and that has a diaphragm in it which acts as the same as a float on the motorbike type carburettors. And you'll see there's a hole there which is the whole atmospheric pressure hole, which is where it allows the diaphragm to move. If there was no pressure hole there, then it would create a vacuum and it wouldn't move properly. So we're now going to remove the pump cover, which is on this side. We are actually removing this pump cover just to check things like the diaphragm, to make sure there are no splits or holes in it. This diaphragm is actually quite worn, so it's a good idea to change that now, which I will. And also in the base of this carburettor there is a strainer. We want to make sure that strainer is clear, which it does look to me to be clear.